Vinny?
Jurgen, first of all, there's been reports out of Portugal that Jota could miss the World Cup. Can you bring us up to speed on exactly how serious his injury is? And also the fact that you're playing Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, what problems does that create for you in terms of looking after your players? Well, for someone like Andy Robertson, for instance, just back from injury, played 99 minutes at the weekend.
Yeah, really not good news. Diogo, yes, he will miss the World Cup. Pretty serious injury in the muscle, calf muscle, and now we have to. The recovery starts, or the process starts. Let me say like this, and yeah, so that's it pretty much. So that's the first diagnosis, which was pretty clear, and all the rest will now follow in the next few days. So very sad news for the boy, for us of course as well, for Portugal, for everybody. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. We need to have a look at that. In general, we always try, and if we can consider it line-wise, then we will do that. So we see how the boys feel today when they come in. It's now second day after the game, and same moment -1 intense period. We are used to intense periods, so it's not the biggest difference, but no, it's clear. Full energy will be required. Again against West Ham in a good moment, we have to say. They're just have a similar start to the season like we had, I would say, but since then they found their way back and are a really strong side.
Just to clarify with Diogo, does he need an operation?
No.
Okay. David Moyes said he hopes you are in the dugout tomorrow night. He said part of this job is you want to play against the best, compete against them, and Jurgen is up there with them all. Do you know yet whether you're going to face a touchline ban, and do you agree with David Moyes as well when he says, look, anyone who's in that kind of situation would effectively feel the same? He says, we have great respect for referees and the work they have to do. I hope in their way they will understand that for 90 minutes and a bit longer we might lose our heads a little bit.
I think I will be there tomorrow because it's nothing really happened yet, but I don't think that something will happen tomorrow, to be honest, a few hours before the game. I know where David is coming from. Yeah, that's clear. I still think I should have dealt differently with the situation, which I actually do usually. I explained it after the game. In this moment, you could not bring me in this mood. No chance. But the whole game led to that, maybe a little bit. The way it went, the way it was a very, very intense game with a lot of decisions we both managers didn't understand on both sides. And this was then for me like, I don't know. In Germany we say the one drop who let the bucket overflow. Does that make sense somehow? Yeah, okay.
The straw that broke the camel's back here.
Sorry, again?
The straw that broke the camel's back, we say here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm not sure I can use that because I still don't understand it, but no, I promise I'm not happy with my reaction, but it's again, that's the way it was, and everybody saw it. I was sitting after the game in the office of Anthony Taylor and spoke about, completely calm about all the situations and how he saw the game and how I saw the game, and it was a completely calm discussion. And but anyway, that's the situation. I got a red card, and now we wait for the process, pretty much.
And clearly, it was a great win on Sunday.
Absolutely.
There has been fallout after it, though. Has that overshadowed the win at all? Because it appears
should not.
I'm just thinking it appears that the relationship between the two clubs is maybe fractured, and I wondered where you see responsibility for trying to improve it.
I'm not sure we have to be best friends with other clubs, to be honest, but I don't think anybody wants to be best friends with us, to be honest. Never heard about that, at least. It's a completely normal competition. But apart from that, again, it started here with the question and answered it, and then all the rest was made of it, and I cannot I know what I thought when I said it, and I thought I have put it all in perspective and said how much I respect everything what they are doing, and then obviously it was still not right for some, but I think the most important thing, I thought, as a club, as a team, together with our supporters, we showed an incredible performance on Sunday. Incredible performance. Yes, and if then something happens, if one guy throws a coin, then it's one fan, I think, and it's a massive mistake, definitely, and we'll get punished. And after the game, if something happens there, it's one supporter or maybe two supporters and not all of them. And I think that's true. It looks like it gets overshadowed because it was an absolute brilliant performance against an incredibly strong side and a super intense game. I was at situations which I don't want to see in a football game, because we have to save the players as well. It's a really important job as well that the referees have. You could see how the game developed. The players always tried a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and in the end, wow, how can you do that? And that's just not. And it was another game this season which I watched, where it was similar and ended up in red cards for the coaches as well. It was Tottenham. Was it Chelsea? Yeah. We thought as well, watched the game and you thought in front of the television, oh my God, what's going on here? It was super intense. And no excuse. That's not. I don't use that as an excuse for me. It's just that's what was the game. And how I said, I thought the performance was outstanding. Individually as a unit as well, it was absolutely great. And after the game, then all the talks go about what I said and what I did and what people make of it. Don't think that should be the case, but obviously I cannot change that.
Jürgen, in the context of the season, only 10 games in, 9 for Liverpool, how big was that result in terms of the Premier League?
My English is not good enough.
In the context of the season.
I understood the question. My English is not good enough to express how important it was. Very. From all different perspectives or whatever, it was the performance we needed. It was the way we had to defend. It was the way we had to commit. It was the way. And again, I don't want to cut out our supporters, because what they did so far in this season is absolutely exceptional. A very emotional crowd in a situation we all are a bit spoiled. Like might be difficult sometimes, but in the end, the boys find a way. But our supporters understood pretty quickly in this season that it's obviously not a smooth start into the season, and how they react and how they perform in the games, not on the home games, in away games as well, is absolutely exceptional. I really don't take that for granted, and that makes it special. And then something like this is possible. So it was massive, this game. To win it was massive. You can lose this game 1-0 and play exactly the same game, and then we see as well, okay, we can cause them problems on our day, stuff like this, but in the end, to really feel and use it in the end, you need the result as well, and that's what we got.
A great result, obviously, but I guess it makes this game against West Ham even more important now to back it up, doesn't it?
Look, when you create a start like we created it, however we did that, there was a moment in the season when you realize, okay, that means now, from now on, they're all finals. And that's already a few weeks ago that we realized that. And so that means, I'm not sure if we can give the West Ham game even more importance than we already put in, because at 100% there's a natural barrier. But yes, it's very important, absolutely. And we respect them a lot, and it costs us a lot of problems here and there as well, all the time, because David is just doing an incredible job. So, and now brought in new players and really good, really quality players, and have no options to change. Mikel Antonio had to play like 80 games in the past, very much, and now they can share it a little bit up front there with international duties. That makes absolutely sense. Paqueta, great player. Kehrer, I know, obviously from Germany, top class defender. Sau, That's only to name a few, and that's just the development of West Ham, and that makes it for us even more difficult. But the importance will not change. It's very, very important.
Thank you.
Julia?
Jürgen, how long is Diogo out for? Do you have a timeline on it at all? And how does it obviously impact the team as well with the injuries that you've already got too?
Big impact. So now we can say that because he will not be in for a long time. We talk about months, yeah, and so we will see. I don't want to put now a number on it because I always hope that in the middle of the rehab, then all of a sudden there's a very positive development and we can cut days off the rehab phase. But yeah, will be long.
Sounds a really stupid question. How is he?
It's Diogo, and he's surprisingly okay so far. He's an incredibly smart boy and very reflected. And I think he knew it when we carried him off the pitch. When I spoke to him for a second, when I came out, we passed each other after the game and spoke to him there, and he explained pretty much what happened. And I think at that moment he knew already that this is a serious one and could be pretty impactful for his World Cup dreams. Yeah.
Thank you.
Carlos?
Yeah, good. We've seen in the last few games how dangerous Darwin Nunez can be, and West Ham have now got a player as well, their striker, Skamaka. He's starting to find his feet now in the Premier League. It shows how it is difficult to get used to the Premier League, isn't it? And how impressed have you been with him?
Yeah, it's difficult. Obviously, it's difficult. We had this discussion. I don't know how often. Pretty much always when we sign somebody. It's not so important which position, but you always exceptions like Virgil stepped in and was there. Mo pretty much as well. Sadio. So that was so, and a lot of the other boys had to adapt. So, and the younger you are, and you should not forget how young Darwin is. And the quicker your career went before, like all the steps were big steps he made, incredible, really quick. And yeah, completely normal. So the Premier League is the strongest league in the world, the most competitive league in the world. So, yeah. And then on top of that, for both strikers, it was the same. Both teams didn't start particularly well, and so that is not helpful for a striker. As well, but I like his impact really. He's a machine. He's physically incredibly strong, and he gets there, and training gets better every day. You can see it. You can really see it how he settles more and more. He's in the team now, mind-wise, 100%. He's really arrived completely, but of course he wants to score more goals and set up more goals as well, so that all will happen, but it always took time.
You mentioned the games like cup finals now. You had so many of those cup final games last season. You've had the pressure of winning game after game when you go for the title. At the end of that COVID season when you had to get to the Champions League, so you're confident that your players can go on another run to get yourself further up the table?
Yeah, if you see it game by game, that's no problem, because the only thing you have to do, you put everything into this game and then you recover and then you put everything into the next game. So that is not a real problem. So I think I understand a little bit where your question is leading to or whatever. So can you really do that for that long? But that's why we change lineups as much and as often as we can without killing the structure. But of course now 2 players who played for us left out for a long time is not helpful. So we have to think about systems, we have to think about everything. But that's what we will do, and that's a job.
Carl Martin?
Hi, Jürgen. Sorry to take us back to the City fallout, but you sat here on Friday and spoke in glowing terms about Pep, about City, about Haaland, saying they were the best in the world at the moment.
That didn't arrive, obviously.
No, yeah. So I'm just wondering how you feel then to almost be your comments then to be not blamed, but people saying you inflamed tensions around the game because of what you said when you spoke so well about them.
That's life of people who speak in public. So it's not the first time that I get misunderstood. So I know what I thought when I said it. If somebody misunderstands that or wants to misunderstand, I cannot change that. So that I have to be careful. I know since years that I'm not always careful. I realize as well. From time to time, I just answer and say what I think. I try to do that in the future as well, because usually it's never my aim to blame anybody or whatever. Just talk about things which I think are not that important in life, actually. But I think what I know about, or I say what I know about it, or how I judge it, or how I see it. So that's it. I cannot change that. I wasn't. Nothing of the things were my intention, to be honest.
To turn back to football matters then, in terms of other injuries, have you got anybody else who's likely to be coming back in?
So, I think all the other players who started the game are available again. Curtis was on the bench. What was clear, we will not bring him on. We just had space, and he's in training. Looks really good in training, but needs further training until he's really available. He could be a step closer now after 2 days, but didn't train yesterday, so maybe half a step closer. Naby Oxley is getting closer. Is now yesterday full team training. But that needs time. Was out for a while, and now we have to make sure that he can put all the sessions in his legs which he needs. Naby was now in parts of team training, so it's all slightly different. Ibu not in team training yet, but that's how we knew before. Will not be that long. He will be in the end out maybe for 10 days until he can start training again. So that should. When was it? Was Rangers, eh? Yeah. Ibu? Yeah, Rangers. So tomorrow it's a week. Yeah, tomorrow it's a week, and that's then maybe Saturday, whenever he can come is back in team training. He was not long out, so if he can train fully, he's available. Joel is still a little bit away, and of course Luis as well, not even close to team training.
That's fit in embargo sections, you said.
Kelvin is completely back in team training. So he had a little setback, got a hit on the ankle, so we had to keep him out. But now I think he's ready to play U23s at the weekend, which would be absolutely great.
Thank you. We've had a lot of hands up, so I apologise we can't fit with him, but the two put hands up first, James Pearce and then Mark Hogan, and then we'll have to move on.
Yeah, just going on from what Carl